So joining me now is the mayor of Rivne, Ukraine, Oleksandr Tretyak. Thank you so much for joining us, Mayor. Just so people here know, your city is about an hour from the border with Belarus. The population, a little under 250,000 people. What is the situation like in your city right now?
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you and to everybody who following you right now. First of all, I have to say that we are preparing for any situation that can be caused by Russia from Belarus side. Yes, we are just 1 hour from border, and as we see, as our militaries tell us that Belarusians and Russians, they are located around the border, and anytime they can break the border. So we believe that our forces, our militaries, quite enough to stop them and to send them back. But I would love to say that much more difficult situation right now in Kyiv, Kharkiv, Chernihiv. So it's hard to imagine that in 21st century, in the heart of Europe, in Kyiv, we have bloody aggression of Russia. So I just have a lot of questions to world leaders. Don't you see what happened in Ukraine? Don't you see that in the heart of Europe, in capital city Kyiv, just a bloody aggression of Russia? Russia, this is a country of terrorists, and terrorists should be stopped. So I just want to ask, how many more innocent children should be killed until you wake up? So we ask, non-fly zone over Ukraine. If you don't help us, we will do it. But we will do it, of course.
You haven't been mayor for very long. I imagine when you ran for mayor, you promised your constituents, I don't know, a safer city. You certainly didn't promise them a gun if they want one. How much has your job as mayor changed over the past couple of weeks?
This is a good question. Yes. So actually, 100% of my time I use just to build protection around the city. So actually, all my responsibilities related with the military guys right now. So actually, I'm a military guy, and we acting like in wartime. So we build protection walls. We build checkpoints. We teach people how to use gun. We teach people medical help, combat medical help. So everything that's related with a war. Of course, we would love to do many peaceful things, but everything I do now, this is actually everything related with war. Also, I would love to say that, of course, we organizing now a lot of humanitarian aid. We organizing a lot of food to the east of Ukraine. And can you imagine, one of Ukrainian mayors close to Kyiv, Mayor Yuri Prilipko from Gostomel, one of the hottest point of the war with Russia. So he was killed yesterday while he was giving a food, giving a bread for needy people. Can you imagine how cruel Russians are now? How this is a real terrorist. They just killed innocent mayor who helped for his people.
In fact, you know, mayors in cities across the country have sort of been at the forefront of humanitarian aid, protecting constituents, doing exactly what you're doing, providing training and weapons. You must be, when you hear about a fellow mayor being killed while reportedly handing out bread, how concerned are you about your own safety and security? What are you doing to make sure that you're safe?
You know, I'm just trying to be with the people. Every day, I just visit a lot of people in my community. Of course, I don't afraid about my life. As a Christian, I believe that everything in God's hands. But every day, I'm with my people, with my community. Today, in the early morning, I was walking around the streets and speaking with people. I was traveling in my city by trolley bus and trying to comfort people, trying to say that, dear friends, dear people of my community, let's keep calm. We win this battle. And you know, I'm just proud to be a mayor of such wonderful city as my city of Rivne. This is a beautiful people. From the very first day of the war, we sent just tons and tons of humanitarian help for needy people at the east of Ukraine.
You are pretty close to the Belarusian border. You know, there had been reports that perhaps Belarusian troops would cross the border to reinforce and support Russia. I wonder what the relationship had been like before this. With a city so close to the border, were you surprised to hear that Belarusian troops, that there were reports that Belarusian troops may also get involved?
Yes, truly saying, we used to have more or less good relation with Belarus before, a couple of years ago. And of course, we have many relation between some relatives, many people who lives here, they have relatives in Belarus and the same. But during last year, when Russia started its aggression and sending its troops to Belarus and like pretending that it's just training. This is like, don't be afraid, everything is okay. But people of Ukraine, we understood that this is something that Belarus preparing for. So right now, many people just, you know, Belarusians, I keep in touch with some Belarusians, and I ask, don't you see what's happening in Ukraine? Don't you see that Russia use your territory, your everything you have, sending its troops through territory of Belarus to Ukraine, and Belarusians say, "Oh, this is a war you started inside of your country." So they believe, for Putin's propaganda, that this is Ukraine started war inside the country, that this is a civil war. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's.
And when I show a lot of pictures, video, how Russian aircraft bombing innocent cities, destroying everything, they just say, "Oh, this is your war. This is a civil war." So Putin's propaganda just do evil things.
Yeah, you know.
But anyway, we believe that.
Sorry, Mayor. You know, it's a war that's happening, you know, outside of your city and around your city, and it's a war that's happening, you know, on the airwaves when it comes to misinformation. And you sort of you paint that picture very clearly. We have to let you go, Mayor Tretyak. I need you to stay safe, and thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Yes. And I want to say thank you so much for CBS News and for every TV channel who show the truth, the real truth. And we have to say, Russia, this is a terrorist country that kill innocent people in Ukraine.
Thank you, Mayor.